look great.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
thank you.
and that's
Yeah.
why I need the world to
You
see
too.
how, I could have shaved.
Well, I mean,
I'm not looking my best, today, but
shave clean. Do you shave clean?
not often. I
Okay.
used to all the time. I had to,
Oh, for Bozarth?
Yes.
For the car, they made you or what?
Yes. So the leader of the Ed Bozarth organization, Ed himself, he was a big believer. I guess you could say the old school values that people before us grew up believing in.
Sure.
And so when it came to certain tropes in the industry or even in movies and entertainment, the good guy, always clean shaven.
Yeah. Okay.
100,000% of the time.
Right.
Before 1960, if you was a good guy, that's how you looked.
Yeah.
And the bad guys always had a beard or a mustache or both. And so he believed in that. And so none of his salespeople could wear beards at all, not even a mustache. And we had to wear white shirt and tie for the first 7 years that I worked there. And they finally loosened up on it in the summertime. And then they finally said, okay, yeah,
It's our era. We were like the rebels of that, like for so long that maybe the bosses had enough control to where that's just the way that it was, even on like, I suffered from it here where I don't know, maybe this should still be a rule, but I wanted to wear shorts. And I wanted to wear shorts at the front desk because I'm outside in the sun and, I'm climbing around. I'm getting dirty and I'm trying to stay dry.
There we go.
And they would not let me work at the front desk on the phone if I was wearing shorts. So I made a PowerPoint and I appealed and they said no shorts. And I said no phone duty. I'm not sitting up there anymore. I'm not going to do it because I'm wearing shorts, But also in sports, shorts to sports, right? In sports... I remember on the basketball team, I'm pretty sure at Topeka High in 1995, you couldn't have facial hair. And also,
100%.
Yeah.
My buddy of mine left the team.
Yeah.
Quit.
That's what happens.
Yes.
People quit. They want to wear their shorts. They want to have a beard.
Man.
Baseball team, same thing. We were like a traveling team, all tournaments. But man, you go to breakfast, you got to wear the belt, you got to wear the pants, no slides, you're wearing shoes, no facial hair. My buddy quit. And what happened? Here's the crazy thing about it. It was infectious. Like it came into me and I was like, you know what? Now I'm mad at the establishment. I'm mad at the coaches. And when they got mad at me, I quit. At the end. I didn't need to. I shouldn't have quit. What was I doing? I quit basketball too, but not for that. Also to party. Anyway.
Yeah.
So then you quit the car business, and here we are. Man,
now
what
we
a
hanging, baby.
Happy ending. Hanging with the homeboys. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome
we
to
love
the
having
show.
you. I think I was going to have the camera over here today.
Oh,
Can I do that?
I
What if
mean, you don't have a bad side. So what are we trying to accomplish here, Luke? A different perspective?
I just want to feel good.
You just want everybody to see all. I mean, your skin looks so supple this morning.
Thank you so much.
Is it the 75 hard?
It's probably all the water,
It's gotta
bro.
be.
Yeah, 75.
Brother.
We are 46 days in, which means that
Is it the
we
water?
are
'Cause your skin
47
is
days.
incredible.
It could be. I had 80 ounces of water before I got here.
Jeez, the suppleness.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Dang, I hadn't even thought about
Brother,
that.
I'm seeing it. I see it every week in this seat, and you're just wow.
What is 44 more 30 whatever 29 more days gonna do?
I'm scared, but what I think we're long enough in it to start deciding which parts of the 75 hard are we going to keep as a part of our lifestyle. Because let's be real, right? This is to kind of show you if you can make certain tweaks, what can happen and probably convince you to keep some of those tweaks. Am I right? I mean, what are your thoughts about the post 75 hard?
I feel like the diet part is easy for us, because the food that we're eating, it tastes really good. At the end of the night, I've got like 300 calories worth of snacks. So I'm like pounding dried fruit and, maybe some coconut kind of granola stuff. So the eating, I think that's easy. The water is good for me. Why wouldn't I drink this much water? Like everybody knows you're supposed to drink 8 glasses of water a day. So what if I'm drinking 16 or I don't know how many it is? You know, I think it's 8 glasses of water.
And how many ounces is the thing that Amanda carries around?
72
it's more than
ounces.
it's more than a half a gallon.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, hers might be like 96 ounce pink backpack water, you know.
Right.
It's got a strap, you know. Actually, I think I am drinking 16 glasses of water a day because you're supposed to drink 8 ounces, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm drinking 16 ounces.
That's 6, yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be somewhere in there. And honestly, I think the main thing is the working out every day. Like sometimes a workout is just a 45-minute walk. Like I think
it don't matter.
We're doing 2 every day. Sometimes it's yoga. Like this morning we lifted. Tonight we're gonna walk outside. I like the idea of trying to do something outside too. That's one of the hardest parts of 75 Hard is like planning around the weather. Planning that you're going to work out outside once a day. So if it's going to rain, that means we have to get up, in the evening, we have to get up in the morning and go outside and walk, or else we're going to be doing yoga in the rain or something like that. That has not happened yet.
Luckily, we're in a 2-year drought and it doesn't rain anymore. It rains about twice a month and I hate it. But anyway.
Because you're the grass guy.
Yeah.
I feel like the things are going to stick. The only thing that's going to drop off is that I'm going to allow myself to have a dessert if it's homemade. All right. I'm not eating any more boxes of cookies that show up at the thing. No, if somebody didn't, labor over it personally, then I'm not going to eat it because it's not even good. Every time I eat something like that, I'm like, it's disappointing. I need some love in that flavor. Okay. So that will change.
So, we're talking no more Pillsbury cookie dough. No, that's it's over.
Doesn't make any sense. I never liked it.
Come on now, man.
I really didn't.
Now listen, let's be real. Listen. There's processed foods.
Yeah.
And then we're talking cookie dough that even if you made your own cookie dough, is it really that much different than the stuff that?
Man, I grew up baking. I grew up rolling with a rolling pin and crust. I grew up sifting flour, and it's way better, man. But I just need a rule. I just need a rule that's going to stop me, that makes sense to me. And that's like a more highly motivated dessert rule. It's kind of like, I only eat gourmet food, and small portions, so, I only eat homemade desserts, so, I just can't eat that. Sorry. It looks decent, but I just can't. That's just not what I do, and
is that, obviously we know the homemade stuff is going to taste better and most of the time be better for you. Mm-hmm. But is this like a way to stop you from having to even make a decision about the stuff that's readily available to us all the time, the cheap and easy carbs and sweets? Is that the other part of it too? Just where it's like, man, if I just say I'm not doing that no more, the amount of food that's available to me to binge eat or to dessert is just not, it's just lower.
To be honest, I feel like that's a trick. Yeah, I'm tricking myself. And I feel like my whole entire life almost is tricking myself. It's not just food, and it's like you need a trigger or some kind of an event or something that happens that makes you not do something or makes you do something. You need a habit, really. It's kind of, there's a book about that too, Atomic Habits, and where it's all about habit stacking, Mm-hmm. You're just giving yourself some kind of a reason to make the decision. And then after a while, it becomes automatic. And I think that's what I'm doing,
Okay. Well, let me take you to this. Uh-huh. How has 75 Hard, since we're over the hump, we're more than halfway done, has it had any effect in your work life at all? Or does it make it even harder? Because now you got to do more stuff.
It's pretty hard, bro, because I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm like really, her and I are both really tired. The other guy that we know who's also a broker or owner of Coldwell Banker. And when we talked with him about doing it again right afterwards, he just laughed. He was like, no, you won't do that, but you don't want to do it because honestly, we are exhausted. And 2 times a day, working out twice a day, if you're working 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours, you have no time, you know. Plus we have kids activities and all that. Like we just don't have downtime. So what was the question again?
Talking about how the effect on your work life.
Oh yeah, man.
Positive, negative, otherwise, whatever.
Well, and that's the other part is I'm busy now. I mean, it's March, April, 6th, 17th now, and this is prime time. So I've also committed to, I'm just going to work all the time. Like if I get something, I work night. If I get something on the weekend, I work it. Previously, me, like I have systems built so that I'm not working in the evenings.
Wait, why
and I'm not
shift?
working on the weekends.
Wait a second. Who kidnapped my boy, man? Wait. You can't just drop that on me. That's like been the one thing about you that, that I've really respected and loved.
Yeah.
Is this a gradual decision, or was there one event that made you say, you know what, I got to change the approach on this, and here's why?
It's the year and the fear. That's what it is. It's 2024, dude.
Boy, I hear rhyming.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Yeah. But it's like election year. It's weird interest rates. I had a slow January and February. I had a few big transactions fall. Like I had a $700,000 one fall apart. I had some, a $300,000 one.
Wait.
Yeah. And
you talking about that house?
Yeah, that's not
happening?
That lake one is not happening. That dude, he just blocked my email, so I guess he's not getting the job here now. Then I had another $700,000 buyer that I was showing, and I knew from the beginning that they were like, they had seen another house and they might buy this fixer-upper. They told me, hey, we might go back to that one. I showed them probably 20 houses, and then they finally were like, they got tired and like, hey, we're just going to buy that one. So that fell out. And it's kind of like, hey, this is you don't know what's happening with agents in your brokerage. Like, are they going to leave? Like, so I just decided, like, look, I need to know what it's like to max out. Like, I need to know what it's like to just do all the work possible, earn all the commission possible, and protect my family and also this brokerage. You know what I mean? Like, there needs to be money, So that's what I'm doing right now. While I'm doing 75 hard.
Dude, you are literally wringing every ounce of the water out of the rag every single day, my brother.
Yeah.
My goodness.
It's all right. But I'm getting to now, like the year is, we're deeper in. There's more closings that have been happening. There's more of a pad. And I'm ready to like carve the evenings and the weekends out again. And softball, little girl softball is going to carve out the weekends too. It has to happen. So, but yeah, man, like, yeah, we're just tired. That's the answer.
Okay. Wow. Well, listen, I guess we'll check back and see how this goes. I mean, obviously, it wasn't that long ago where we were sitting right here and I told you about how 2023 got to a level of my activity to where, physically and mentally was a level I don't want to get back to, and I also said simultaneously in the exact same breath that I wouldn't change anything about it. That's the crazy part about it, is that I would do it all again because what I was able to get from the hard work of 2023 will be worth it in the end. I don't want to take on that much. So far in my world, I've had to say no to a couple of things, and normally I'm a guy that tries to find a way to make it work. But we're adding team members to our team.
Yeah,
I owe them an incredible first year of them being a part of the team. And I don't want to do anything to jeopardize that and make people close to me have second guesses about being affiliated with me. So that's something I take to the heart. And if we can keep doing what we're doing, and I'll be happy in that role.
Wow. I mean, I wanted to ask you about 2024. So just a small piece of it, like, how does it feel saying no to something? And maybe give me an example of something that you might say no to, or you have.
So I need you to know, as part of my personality, most people that know me will say I'm pretty easy to get along with. you know, and as I've gotten older and psychoanalyzed myself and tried to figure out why I am the way I am, that I've come to the conclusion that at some point in my life, I realized that being a people pleaser, being agreeable, being a guy that can fit in with just about anybody and kind of, you know, move into any space, you know, I think that was something that I felt like I had to do. And so, you know, as a kid, parents divorcing, moving all the time, trying to fit in, you start to learn the things that keep people around you and the things that make you, I guess, a little bit repulsive in some ways. And because of that, as far as I can remember, it's always been tough for me to say no. I mean, one of my first girlfriends I had in 7th grade asked me out. I did not want to be with her at all. I did not. We were all in the same group of friends. I probably liked 2 or 3 of her friends that weren't her. And I still said yes.
What?
I swear to God, I was so afraid to tell this girl no.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I have no clue why.
Okay.
And then when we got together when it was in between classes, I would run to avoid her. I didn't want to hold hands between class.
Sure. Wow.
I didn't want to do any of that stuff. She'd call. I'd tell my parents to say I wasn't home. I'm dead serious. This is your boy right here, man. I'm telling you, it's been like this for a long time. It is just tough for me to say no. So far this year, you know, we're talking about things that like might be, you know, somebody wanted me to join a volleyball team, which is one of the things I did in 2023.
Oh, okay.
I'm not.
You played volleyball in 2023.
I did.
You never talked about that.
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't.
Okay.
I you know, and.
But you're not playing. You
No,
said no.
I'm not going to do that.
See, that's a fun thing, or maybe it wasn't fun.
Right.
You know, maybe you're doing them a favor to play on the volleyball team. They needed one.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, and then every Wednesday you're like, oh,
here we go.
Stuff to do.
I would sell you the house, but I gotta go play rec league volleyball. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
And then the other thing I would say have been investment opportunities.
Yeah. Stuff that you could buy, and you're like,
100%.
That's too much work.
Or I got people around me that want to be in the Chris Glenn world, so they're like, well, why don't we you know, partner up on this thing?
Yeah. Partner up, like you already have the parent partnership thing going on. And then, like you said, you've got a team here that, you know, they're all your partners too, you know. So there's a limit to the number of partners that you can have.
Yes,
that's a good choice. You know, I think, you know, there are people in the world that have a rule that's like, you never have partners, you know, but that could be a little different.
Yeah. I mean, you better know what the hell you're getting into and who you're dealing with.
Who you're
getting into bed with. That's all, you know, I know my parents pretty well, so that wasn't too much of a big, you know, stepping out there, but other people, you know, it could, yeah. So
I have only partnered with my wife, or, you know, before she was my wife. And I have a partnership going on with my mom right now on a property. But other than that, like I almost entered into one on a flip with a teammate, but only because it was very low stakes. You know, like it seemed like it was going to be low cash in, but we also had a conversation before about how this could break us up. Like I think before you enter into it, you have to like, hey, think about this. There's a lot of partners that break up and they never talk to each other again, you know? So that's another reason to say no, you know?
Yeah.
But the year of no for you, right? Is it helping? I mean, is 2024 better so far?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Just because it's less busy, right? What you got
I'm finding plenty to do.
Okay.
I'm finding plenty to do still. But it is better. You know, 2023 was like all of the work that you do to get ready, you know, for your crop, I guess you could say, if I was a farmer. And 2024 has been like harvesting the crop.
Wow.
Which still takes a lot of energy, but damn it, we're taking this product down to the market and we're about to get paid. Mm-hmm. You know, we're realizing the rewards of the work that we put in from 2023, finishing up flips, finishing up the Airbnb and having it, run smooth. And, so transitioning, from building to maintaining. And maintaining is always better than building from scratch, right?
For sure. Yeah.
But in our world, you maintain for a while and then you look for the next thing to build.
Then you got to build again.
And what I really want to do, Lukey Man.
Oh, Lukey Man. That's a new one.
Lukey
All right.
Man.
First time ever.
What I really want to do for the first time ever is get one of these houses that is condemned. I want to get a tax house, something like that where we can buy it for cheap. I'm ready to do my first full gut rehab. Every rehab, I've never had to do a rehab where the entire house had to go down to the studs.
Yeah.
To where you literally have a blank canvas and you don't have to worry about, certain things and going around them. Like, that's what I want. It's going to be the biggest risk, but it should be the higher reward. You only can get into these type of houses with cash.
Yeah. So
saying no to things early in the year is going to allow me, once that time comes in the fall, to have the cash ready. And I want to be able to look back and say, I'm so glad that I didn't say yes to this, tie my money up in this.
Every moment, man, every day, there's, I could buy that. Oh, there's one. That's one that I would do. I should do that. But now, what you do then is you just call your other guy.
Yeah.
You don't buy that.
Yes.
Now you give that to that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And that guy gets that.
And you tell him, I'd buy this myself, but I've got other plans with the money.
And you really believe it. And even that
serious.
is a sales pitch. Yeah.
When
it's the best one. Like,
yes.
I want to buy this, man, but I can't because I'm aiming at another project, another investment.
So if I can't get the spoils, I need somebody in my team, somebody in my circle. Just how it feels like when the grant money came in. We know there's only so much. We want our people to get as much of it as possible. That's our job, And so, yes.
That's going to grow your network even more, That's going to grow your net worth. Grow your network, grow your net worth, get your excerpt. I don't know. No. Well, good. I'm glad that 2024 is what you have felt that you wanted it to be, and you're aiming at that higher project, that shell that you're going to be at. I mean, the building that you're going to be able to do in there it's like writing, it's like composing a play or something, it's going to be artwork in there, a blank canvas.
Oh, yes, because ultimately, I want to be building new construction homes one day.
Yeah.
So I love going from light remodeling to heavy remodeling to a full gut flip. I feel like that's about as close as you're going to get to, building something brand new. Not saying it's going to replace, the hard knocks that we're going to learn when we finally get into that.
Right.
But it'll still be better having done something like that.
Oh yeah, it's practice. It's like it's the planning process. It's the cruise. It's the dreaming about what it could be. And that's one thing that I wanted to talk about, a smaller subject, and that is, of the style of a house or the floor plan of a house. Do you have one that really resonates with you, or that's your favorite, or a style that you push to your buyers because you think when you call me back in 5 years to sell this house, this is going to be the easiest house to sell?
All right, I got something for you. So if I was building brand new houses, I would stick to I believe. I don't know what they're calling it. I don't know what this style is called. But let's just take a typical ranch where in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, all of the bedrooms would be on one side of the house.
Oh, yeah.
And then as time went on in the 90s and 2000s, you started seeing floor plans where the master would be on one side of the house, maybe the living room and the kitchen, and then you'd have a couple of bedrooms on the other side of the house, so you would be separated. And I feel like that would be a really easy one to sell, just alone with having that separation.
Yeah.
Some people who are in that part of their life where they don't need to be right next door to the 1-year-old or the 2-year-old's bedroom.
Sure.
You know, those people that have a teenager or two or a 9-year-old or something like that, something that they can get them on out of the house with, would be what I focus on. And then when it comes to flips, I love a bungalow. I love a bungalow.
I see. And a bungalow, that's where, you've got the front porch. Like you walk up 3 stairs, you come inside, you've got the living room. There's like a den or like a hearth room right there. Right behind that living room is a dining room.
That's right.
And there's a kitchen back there, and then a couple of bedrooms over here.
That's
Airplane
right.
bungalow might have some rooms upstairs. Right.
That's right. And so I love bungalows, number one, because it's the first house I ever called my own. My grandparents, who still live at their bungalow right now.
The one on top of that hill.
You got that
okay,
right, baby. Yeah. Oh my gosh. The simplicity of the design makes for heating and electricity. There's not a lot of challenges there. Everything is pretty central. If your furnace is centrally located, oh my God, I mean, it's just going to heat that house up so easily. And there's just so much that you can do with them. I mean, they were almost an open concept without the kitchen being included. Before, that living room and dining room area, you can do so much there, whether you have the pocket doors to actually close them off or whether you just have it wide open. And I just love the flexibility that you have with something like that. And I also love that they're so high off the ground, unlike ranches.
Oh, sure.
I mean, it's nothing to have the foundation of a bungalow to go 3 feet high above the ground.
Yeah.
And so it creates the fact that you, on one hand, it sucks if you're, disabled because you're going to go upstairs to get into your house no matter what.
Mm-hmm. You might have to move if you become that way, or
absolutely, or you just add or you do what my grandparents did, and you just add a ramp.
Oh yeah.
Even though they don't need it, it's there for people that do. Mm-hmm. And I love that because the basement, on this particular bungalow where it's set, it stays pretty darn dry.
Basement doesn't have to be so deep that way.
Yeah, no window wells.
Yeah.
You got windows that are above grade.
Yeah.
Providing plenty of light down there in the basement. It allows your basement to have a higher ceiling, easier to be finished.
Yeah.
Without digging so deep into the earth. So there's just a lot of reasons why I think even though the bungalow is kind of outdated, that the ones that exist will all, and if you're lucky enough to have one that has the original charm, craftsmanship, woodworking,
plenty of nice woodwork in those.
People pay some real money for that.
Yeah. And it's still, I mean, even the youth, like the young buyers, like the guys that like all the everything white,
Yes.
white trim, white doors, gray walls,
Yes.
They still like these. Even if the wood is there, because the wood is so substantial too. Like the floorboards are usually or the baseboards are 6 inches and they're thick. And then you've got even the little half walls. If you have the little half wall, in other houses, they're going to rip that out. But those, they like it. It's still got it's like really ornate wood trim and all that kind of stuff.
And now listen, the half wall in between my grandma's living room and dining room, has bookshelves built into them, and you're looking at this craftsmanship that's 60, 70, 80, 90 years old, sometimes 100 years old, and
I wonder,
you don't get that anymore.
I wonder if it was just guys that were carpenters that were just coming home and making built-ins everywhere, or if these were custom homes and they were just upgrading and putting in these really ornate, I bet it's a little bit of both, but it seems to me like the bungalow houses weren't going to be the ones where everybody's like, well, yeah, throw that built-in over there, and yeah, carve that lion into the wall, or the trim right there, So I bet it was like a lot of guys just coming home and being artists at their own house. And here's another thing about houses that age, like down in the basement, there was always like a shower,
Damn right.
But it wasn't a shower. It's the corner. It's just the corner. It's like over a hole, and there's a pipe coming out of the ceiling. And my thought always was like, who is showering down there?
Yeah. And to think that used to be the lesser form of getting clean. Yeah. Like the bath was for the real family, and then now we got that shower that Dad uses when he, chops coal.
I think it was more people working harder, getting dirtier, coming home and showering somewhere where they didn't have to clean it up and make it pretty. Oh, yeah. And maybe, do you agree, universe? I don't know. So, okay. Well,
how about you?
for me, I feel like, my favorite, I do like what you're talking about. The idea of I call it split bedrooms.
Yeah, I was going to go with that, but I didn't want anybody to get confused with the split level.
Right, exactly. And I don't know if that's what they call them, split bedrooms, and there's another version of that too. And that's the version that we have, and that's where you have the bedroom on the one end, and it's a ranch style house or a one level house. Well, it's actually not, because it's a 1.5 story.
Yeah.
So instead of those bedrooms being on the other end, now those bedrooms are up here. So we've got 3 bedrooms up here and a bathroom, and that's like the kids' quarters and guest room area. And then our bedroom is over here, and we have separation. But we also yell up the stairs, "What are you doing up there?" So that is very popular in my opinion. All of the bedrooms on one side. Not the biggest fan of that. I do like that separation there, and then the walkout. I'm a huge fan of the walkout, except for when it's time to hide from tornadoes. We're in Kansas. We had a tornado warning. Was that yesterday morning?
No, that was 2 days ago.
It was? Yeah. It's 6 a.m. It was yesterday, wasn't it?
It was?
Yeah. Yeah. Amanda woke up like this. She goes, "Oh my God."
Oh my God.
The weather radio went off. I go, "Wow." And she was having a dream about tornadoes. And she was, "Oh my God." And I was like, whoa. Like, she was really scared. And I'm joking about this. I've been joking with her about that. I totally get that. But so we go down to the basement, and I'm just thinking man, there's a bunch of windows right here. We have a safe room back there. It's got a bunch of stuff in it. So we need to clear that out. But the walkout, in terms of its functionality, it's got that downfall, one thing for Kansas of a basement. But how it is excellent is that the whole back room is just all windows on one side. So we're just getting plenty of light. It's even on the north side, but we're getting plenty of light into the room. We're down there. We've got the big patio back there, the pool's back there. And when people come over, they just walk around the side of the house, come down there, and we all just hang out downstairs.
Boom.
And it doesn't feel closed off, or you're not trapped in the basement like you are with other styles. So to me, walkout is far superior to any other. Plus, with the walkout, when we're talking about basements and dryness and water, you don't have that hydrostatic pressure, that water pressure on the foundation all around it. Because what happens is, even if there does get water down there, it has a way to get out around the edges and seep out of there. So you could have some pressure, but it'll be limited. Your basement will stay dry. And that's what it is. You need a walkout ranch. Number 1 style of house with the split bedrooms.
There it is.
In my opinion.
I love it. No, I love everything about it. And I have a daylight basement, but it is not a walkout. And boy,
do you wish that it walked out?
100%.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Have you ever thought about, maybe I should cut a walkout and it'll be a walk up?
No.
It's kind of corny, isn't it?
That's different.
Doesn't do it.
Nah.
It's just, and it's a leaf hole.
Yeah.
You're just that's how you end up actually getting water in your basement. Is
there you go.
Have any kind of a hole that's going to trap a bunch of leaves.
Leaves, water, then you got the leaves on top of the hole that you got there for the water. So yes, I think you're 100% correct about the walkout ranch, and I'm probably going to stay at the house that you sold me for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
But if
all you need, man.
But
green space.
If I had to make, that would be the type of house I would switch for.
You mentioned another thing, and you talked about the bungalows and the furnace being located in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
In the basement.
Oh, yeah.
And how it's going to very effectively heat the house.
Oh, yeah.
What about the balance between having that furnace over on the side or somewhere else, so when you finish the basement, it's not right there in the middle of where you're at? Like, how do you remedy that? Which is better?
That's a great question. From an efficiency standpoint, the centralized location makes a whole lot of sense. That's what I would want if, maximum efficiency was my goal. But comfort is a big, big deal, And one thing that blew me away was I showed a house not too long ago that was built in 1990. And one thing that we noticed, the basement was long. It was a ranch. Mm-hmm. But we didn't see those those posts in the ground that you normally see in the basement.
In the middle?
Yeah.
Huh.
They weren't there.
Huh.
And it was incredible. I don't know what specs needed to change to allow that to not have to be in the plan.
Yeah.
Because everything was fine. Mm-hmm. But it was so wide open down there. It didn't even make any sense. And I was like, wow.
How old would you say it was? 30 years?
No, the house
50?
was built in like 1990.
Yeah.
And my house was built in 88, and it definitely has, those annoying posts. And you frame them in and you box them in.
Yeah.
But they're there. And
I wonder if that makes the floor joists are taller possibly, and then maybe they're the ones that have that where it's like the plywood or the I don't know what they call those. They look like an eye.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's definitely probably part of it, but I want to look it up.
Interesting.
I want to look that part up too. But no, I'd probably go for comfort over efficiency, just depending on if somebody could show me how much money I was wasting by having that in the corner.
Yeah.
Or, because now the techniques that they're using to build houses with not just water vapor barriers, but vapor barriers as well. The modern way of building homes to be more efficient could more than make up for a furnace being in somewhere in a different part of the house.
Yeah.
But if you're in a really old house that is built in a time where things are a lot more inefficient,
right?
I would love to have that centralized location there, just because it's going to save me some money.
Yeah, they can. I think they can do things with vents too. There can be like assist. Or like dampers that are, create zones. Mm-hmm. I mean, you put those on each one of the vents in some way, and that's like electronically controlled. And I haven't experienced that. I've seen it a few times, and people that have them kind of rave about them. So that's one way you can sort of, you can deal with that in a less efficient vent system, or you can have zoned.
I think that's the future. I think you're going to see more and more houses that don't just have a stand like, we're 3 people that live in this house, and we gotta, when we are uncomfortable, we have to cool or heat the entire house. Whereas it should be more of a room by room thing. So mini split technology, the price of those things coming down, they can be a little ugly though. That's the thing that I'm worried about, is that if one of those mini split deals was in every single room, I'm not sure if I'm in love with that.
What do we do with that? Do we hang a basketball goal off of it, or like, that's where our trophy, we turn that into a trophy case. Like, I mean,
right. Somebody's gonna have to find a way.
Would they build them inside of the wall? Maybe.
Everything's possible. I'm watching one of my favorite YouTubers build an entire house.
Yeah.
A year ago this month, they poured the pad for the garage. And what they're doing is they are building a 2-story garage where the second story is a loft where the guy is going to live in the loft. And then when they're done with the garage loft, they're going to tear down the house that's right next to it, and they're going to build the actual house for the guy to live in. So this has been absolutely incredible for when it comes to building science. I'm just, guys, if you're in real estate and you're not nerdy at all about this stuff, if how the sausage gets cooked doesn't turn you on a bit, you might want to find something else to do, man, because you're not going to be able to compete with people like me that love this stuff. I consume this stuff every day. I cannot get enough of how houses are built, why they're built that way, and how they're going to be even better than they were 10 years ago and 20 years ago.
All right, guys. Well, I'm getting out of the business then. Just this is my announcement. It was sudden. It was. That reminded me. My stepbrother, he built log cabins. He had a company called Custom Rustic Log Homes of Kansas, and he when I got in the business in 2008, he was probably 45 years old already, and he had built 125 log homes. Wow. Like full scribe log homes where they bring them in, they stack them, super efficient houses. But what made me think of this was that when he first started his company, he poured the basement, and because they didn't have any more money, he just built a roof on it, and they just lived in the basement for a while. Wow. And then he saved up some more money, and then he built the log home itself, and that was one of that I sold that house for him in my fourth year. It was the biggest sale that I ever had. I got both sides of that deal. I did a contract for deed where I got paid my commission over 3 years, and it was very tough.
My boy built his own real estate pension plan real quick.
Hey, what a challenge! What a thing to work through. He moved to Arizona, I guess I'll end on this. He built these full scribe log homes. There are 125 around our city. How many have you ever shown?
0. Yeah. Who's going to leave? Who's ever going to sell
Nobody's
them?
leave. They never sell them.
One of those.
It was back in 40 acres. His was. It was on the Oregon Trail.
Come on!
There was a sinkhole. It had this really.
Stop!
I promise, dude. I promise. I feel so. My stepdad's ashes are out there, and he's on the Oregon Trail. But I can't even go visit him or anything because he sold the 40 acres. You know what I mean?
You sold it.
20 acres. 20 acres. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, those things don't sell. Full scribe, log home. You've seen them. They look like a ski lodge, and they're in Kansas too. So,
well, that's a whole nother episode of talking about the type of homes that just never sell. We drive these streets. We watch the MLS, and there's certain neighborhoods where these people, unless they're getting drug out on a stretcher, they're not leaving.
Yeah, it might be time. We need to watch the obituaries and buy a full scribe log home. Can we put that on the sign out there? Hey, all right.
All right, baby.
Well, it's been fun. As always, you guys have been hanging
with the homeboys.
Watch, like, subscribe.
That's right.
Do that other stuff too.
Yeah, comment. Tell us how bad my beard is today.
That's good.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Later.